So I literally just woke up.
I didn't wake up. I'm still asleep.
Yeah.
It's just a dream.
I'm at work.
This is a dream.
It is very much so. It's a dream because northern Germany was actually warmer than southern Germany today. That never happens. So 2020, Paris had 33 degrees. Holy fucking shit, dude. Robots.
Now that you guys have like ace. Oh.
I was convinced you were gonna say I am a robot. But you're fine now.
Okay.
Now you're
I'm
no
in
longer
Wisconsin,
fine.
So.
Holy shit, Algeria was hot today? Oh damn, Algeria had some temperatures.
Are you in Mecklenburg?
No, that's the that is not the part of Germany that it connects to Denmark.
Saarlunberg?
What?
Schleswig?
Brady.
Yes.
Brady, subs.
Yeah, it's not Schleswig, it's called Schleswig-Holstein.
No, there's Schleswig and then there's Holstein.
No, but they're the same. It's the state of Schleswig-Holstein in modern Germany.
I only know the earth by provinces.
I'm pretty sure I'm more in the Holstein region, if that is the southern one. Let me actually look this up. Holstein.
Don't worry, I've got an accurate map that everyone can use.
Well, this is just.
What is
happening?
That was weird.
Christian.
Sorry about that AC blasting in the background.
Yeah, you're also. You're quite loud, isn't it?
This is a perfectly up-to-date map, I swear.
Let me actually. I mean, it doesn't seem to. What is the today's? Okay, I'm apparently. My city is at exactly the borderline, but on the Holstein part. So where my fjord ends, Schleswig begins.
Ah.
Yeah. No,
Now I understand.
So of all the handovers that the wars caused, Schleswig-Holstein never went back to Denmark.
No, we're very German. Also today, I'm not. For reasons, I am not drinking beer or any kind of alcohol tonight. So I just got some sodas and soda-like things, and this is Bionade. It's something that you might know if you've ever been to Germany. This particular one is the what's the English word for that? It's not strawberry, but it's also red berry. It has like little berries.
Raspberries.
Raspberries, yeah, raspberry and plum flavor. Bionade. And
Sounds
Bionade
pretty
is
good.
like a soft drink that they make in a similar way that they make beer, but it's non-alcoholic and it's very low in sugar and not very sweet.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Obviously,
yes. Oh, this is good. Yeah, it's actually a bit bitter, even. But only very, very, very slightly. Fuck. I should have keep the button, have clicked the button in the click.
Hey, sorry if I get a lot of background noise. I'm out and about. I'm leaving work right now, and I have to head to the store.
Have fun.
Right.
How is everyone?
I'm alright.
Alright.
Perfectly fine.
Transcending humans and slaying demons.
I'm very, very hot. And not in a good way.
Eyo.
Right.
I learned
blower.
recently. I learned recently that for the new Cyberpunk game, you will have 2 different choices for type of penis.
Awesome.
Excuse
It's
me?
Only 2?
Can you...
Yeah, I assume what they mean is you can either have a circumcised or non-circumcised penis.
I was gonna assume
That
Showa
makes
or
sense.
Grower.
I was gonna
was
assume
thinking-
like human or something else.
No, I expect a
Like a
slider
furry
where I
penis.
can fucking slide back and forth seamlessly
Well,
how
I'm
much
sure there's
foreskin
probably
I
different
have.
like sizes. I'm sure there's a size slider, but
On,
also like different
skin
types.
I've seen gameplay of it, and I'm just like, I'm not hyped in the slightest.
It's just...
Really?
The penis sliders are more detailed than the face sliders. You can just paint individual creases, and you have you can choose between like 5 faces.
We got ourselves a cyber dong going.
I mean,
Damn.
can I put accessories on it like beads?
Tattoos.
Yeah.
Listen, you're thinking small time here, okay? You need a monofilament chainsaw dick, okay? That's just what you need.
Real question
Oh
is,
wait,
can you have two?
wait! Can I get the shark jaws like they put on World War II planes?
That's only that only is for the vagina attachments. I'm sorry.
I wonder
But
if
you
there's
can
a
get
difference
like
of-
flames on the side of your shaft so you can fuck faster.
That's
like,
true.
do
You paint
customize
your
it
dick
when it's soft or like
paint your
when
dick
it's
red,
hard?
it goes
Like, you
faster.
can both.
If you paint your dick yellow, it comes more.
You choose between showing and growing, or
Yeah, that was the question earlier. If that was the things you could choose
They
between.
had like a list of all those customizations, and they just said like penis type, and it said 2 different types of penis. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's gonna be circumcised or non-circumcised. You know, in case you want to play a Jewish man.
huge or
Why would you want to play with some disadvantages?
Hey, Jew is a very powerful class in South Park Stick of Truth.
That's true. It is.
I have that game, but I can't play the Jew class. I have the game. I've never played it because I'm in Germany. They had to, and they just renamed it Wizard or something.
That sucks. Well, hopefully the powers carry
Fine,
over
it's
because it. I mean,
Oh yeah, in that one level where it's like all a bunch of fascists is censored in Germany, like literal censor bars.
Oh yeah, the abortion clinic with the giant Nazi fetus.
What? I gotta play this
that.
game, dude.
Oh my god, you can't play that level with the giant Nazi fetus.
I mean, okay, so I have been told that because my Steam is in English, I can play it. Because sometimes, but that didn't work for Fallout New Vegas. It is such a pain in the cunt to be able to play Fallout New Vegas in English because you can't just switch the language. Because here's what they did, right? Germany is you can have full-on hardcore pornography and get like a teen rating, and you can call people a string of ethnic slurs, and it's fine. But how dare there be any amount of violence in this video game? This is now 18 plus.
I'm just gonna chime in here. I actually prefer it that way.
It's kind of like the opposite in America.
Yeah, it's the
honestly, it is
opposite.
the opposite in America.
But what they did,
America thought that fucking oh fuck, what was it called? Starship Troopers was like a children's film.
yeah,
There's toys for that.
No, Brady. The writer for Robert Hyland, he did write it as a young adult's novel.
There's
It
young-
was young adults.
novels are completely different. Like novels
Yeah.
are completely different. Like you can have hardcore sex in novels and it'll just go past.
yeah,
the
nobody gives a
well.
fuck. It's like,
It's 'cause they know children won't read.
I mean, sex in a book it all depends on how you describe it. If you just mention they have sex, that's one thing. But if you mention how fucking hard
No,
his
the
throbbing
more
cock was as it
descriptive you
slammed her
are,
pussy,
the
that
more
might be a
you'll get
little-
away with it. Because...
Might be a little much for Percy Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
No, but there's no regulation on books for that. There's no age regulation for books at all. Yeah, it does not exist.
You know what's kind of like that too? Like plays. Like
Yeah.
Broadway plays or like off-Broadway plays. Like, they can show full nudity and...
Yeah, you can just
Yeah,
have
and
anal
everyone's
sex
all
on stage. Just
Yeah.
raw dogging.
Bro, I
It's
gotta go
fine.
to Broadway. I
You
didn't
can
realize
have
it was that
kindergartners
cool.
sitting in there.
Right.
It's completely fine. It's not. No one's gonna.
Yeah.
Those
You're gonna
funny
find
about
those off-Broadway.
Like,
Truth.
let me just point out just how zero fucks the written word in terms of censorship is. Lolita was in my school library.
I'm sorry. What?
Lolita was in our high school library as well.
Dude, I don't understand what you guys are talking about. There was like a banned book list for a lot of like high schools and like middle schools and shit. Like,
Are you actually? Is America this?
Some parts.
Oh yeah, well, like
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
Catcher in the
like-
Rye was
like
on the
the
banned book list
silence
after that dude
too.
shot John Lennon.
Jesus fuck.
They wanted
Like
to like go through for
Free
Huckleberry.
speech, everyone, but
Well,
only
okay,
if it's
so-
said in a
Well, the
pub, I
the only
guess.
thing is you can't
Look
listen. You
into
only
the name.
you can still buy the book. It's not banned like in stores. It's banned from school library.
Yeah.
Like you can't like stock it in a school. Which I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it's
it's
on
dumb
the
because most of the
picture.
books on there.
You have to recognize the American South and then everybody else, because
True.
the South.
Well, listen
Well-
here, Sonny.
I think it's in Australia with the Stick of Truth. There's a scene where Randy's getting probed, but they couldn't show it, so they just like they
showed
black out this
a
going in
A
into
koala.
like an
But here's what they did with Fallout New Vegas, right? So they took out the blood, which you can easily reactivate. So it's exactly as gory as the original New Vegas, but also you can't use the English original dub. You have to use the German one, and that is so incredibly complicated to fix. So the thing that they wanted to take out is one click and you have it. But the shit side effect of having to play the game in the shittest dramatic language in the world of all time, where no good play has ever been written in German.
Hey, let me tell you something. The voice acting in the English version of New Vegas also isn't good. So
Literally the country of thinkers and poets.
You know how you solve that, right? You want to know how you permanently solve all these issues? You just replace all actual dialogue with like sans and whatnot from that game, like the when they talk. And you just read it.
Undertale.
Yeah.
Undertale. Yeah.
That would actually be kind of cool.
No, like Banjo-Kazooie, where like they all have a different sound effect. So like house could be like
Simling.
roulette
That's what
wheel.
you change it to, so they just sound like Sims.
Nah, I got
dude,
it.
I would
Better
fucking
one. Just have
love.
the
I would
cast
love to get a
from,
lesson on Hegelian
Einstein,
dialectical
Hegelian
fascism
Cybermancy
from
do the
while I'm
dub.
hearing like a fucking like
Somebody else play
the
that game.
sound from Undertale. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
just
back to the school thing. It also keep in mind, Burger, that like, and anyone that doesn't live in America, that that the school system in the United States is controlled by the state or even by the city or county.
It's
Yeah,
very,
whatever it is. It's not
really
federalized.
county.
Centralized.
Yeah,
It's
usually it's like
actually-
city or county.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's
we
like
don't have
it's
federal
like,
schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here like in South Dakota, it's by the city.
I mean, in
I know-
Germany, we also don't have federal schools. It's in the German constitution that schooling is a matter of the states.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like America has so many states and it's like very different. Like
Yeah.
my school's library, I don't think they gave a fuck. I don't know if Lolita was there, but like they usually didn't give a single fuck about what book they had at the high school library.
Like the only
But
the only shit that was banned in our high school library was like actual neo-Nazi shit, like the Turner Diaries.
Yeah,
But,
but
like-
I know the Communist Manifesto was in my school library,
Yeah, we
Based.
had that.
my high
too.
school library. But like, if you were in Texas, if you go to Texas, a Texas school, probably they won't have the Communist Manifesto in their school library.
There was always a
Even though it's a
rumor at
public
my
school.
we had it,
There was
so-
always a rumor at my school that if you checked out certain books, you got put on like a list, and they would scrutinize you. Like if you got.
I mean,
like,
I can
the
see
Communist
the
Manifesto-
importance of the Communist Manifesto being in a school library because chances are you
Yeah.
probably have to learn about the Soviet Union and communism and shit like that.
Only a
Well,
little
They
bit.
should have Mein Kampf there.
Not a
in there,
lot,
too.
but I mean,
Oh, we had.
I actually think they might have actually.
Yeah,
You know what?
we
I think
had
they
Mein
might have had Mein Kampf.
You know what would be funny? You withdraw Mein Kampf, and the next day it's like, can you come with us? And it's like that you go down and they open a door and it's like a secret elevator, like the door's behind like one of the bookshelves, and it goes down. And it's like all Confederate flags and shit, and like a memorial.
Oh, I saw this picture on Twitter earlier today where there was a someone like on a Zoom conference with their math teacher, and she had like a
Oh, yeah.
full-on Nazi flag and like an SS fucking Death's Head flag right next to it. And somebody was answering, "Oh, yeah, she probably just has a German heritage. She's probably just into German culture." It's like,
Right?
this is you can't even. It's
That's-
literally an
To be
SS
fair,
flag.
though, to be fair though, right? It might also be a BDSM thing.
What the
To be fair, she
fuck?
probably just a fucking fascist.
I'm pretty sure, Burger. Are you sure that they weren't like joking? Because that's the same thing people say about the Confederate flag. I'm pretty sure that was a joke.
I mean, it might have been a joke, but they did have
I
a
mean,
furry
yeah,
avatar, so
Yeah, they have furry avatars, so they might have been.
That's
Oh, okay.
suspicious.
Sorry, I didn't realize they were autistic. My apologies.
Yeah.
What was the heat like today in the United States? Let's see.
It's for the past few days, it's been pretty bad.
It's currently 93 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now.
Well, like,
That's
right now-
Give that to Celsius. He's
what
not
part
American.
of Florida were you in again?
Orlando.
Orlando, yeah. Oh, it's 33. Okay, that's quite warm. Especially with the humidity, I would imagine.
It's also cloudy out, so like it's just the humidity that's making it.
Yeah,
that
I would
hot.
imagine that being
Yeah.
at least moderately uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
Where
it's
are
fine.
they
It's
right
raining
now?
today.
97 degrees.
Oh, it's actually
Oh.
raining now. Great.
Oh god, so
I'll be right back.
I'm like trying to get back home, cause like in my
In
truck.
100 meters, turn left.
It's 18 degrees in Los Angeles. Yes, please do continue.
Oh, in my sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
so like I was down in Georgia, like all good fellows are. Something about the devil fiddling anyway. And the blower motor for my truck just fucking died. So the only way I can get any kind of AC is if I'm like barreling down the highway.
Damn.
And other times I don't. So it's like now I'm just trying to get back home so I can. I should be back home tonight. So that way I can just get.
I think he just got kidnapped by robot molesters.
You're roboting hard.
Yeah, we're in robot situation again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can at least take comfort in the fact that it's only 6 degrees Celsius in Qaqortoq, Greenland.
Oh, okay. And in the city that I am right now,
Ass off.
it's right now 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius, which is all right.
It's only
Which,
9 degrees
I'm
in
right by
Lakewood.
New York.
Holy shit.
Ow.
It's been like 30 degrees Celsius. The fact that we have to announce fucking
It's
measurement unit we're
36
using.
degrees Celsius where I'm at.
That is quite warm.
That is very warm.
That is California for you.
It's currently 280 degrees Kelvin.
God, you fuck! You beat me to it by like 3 seconds.
I don't even know what that is.
This
in real
I'm gonna
temperature.
post that tweet from earlier. It's fucking insane. I mean, you know, this is the flag.
Jesus Christ. That's clearly the Buddhist flag.
Yeah, it's clearly a Buddhist swastika, which is exactly the other way around.
Well, the Buddhists, they also use the Iron Eagle and the Iron Cross.
Hey, so,
I don't like
did anybody else?
Burger. I don't want to assume, but can I have a wild guess here and say that no German is proud of their history?
Well, okay, so
They have beer.
you're not allowed to be proud of your history unless you're talking about a very specific. Okay, so you can be proud of German history if you're proud of the German language. This is my theory that we used the German language as a surrogate pride about the German history, because here's the thing. Germany had like huge cultures like Goethe, Schiller, all of those people. We had great philosophers, Kant, all that.
Oh yeah, the philosopher Kant.
Yeah, that's how you it's pronounced Kant.
I thought we just say Kant.
Yeah, that's because you're American, but the proper pronunciation is Kant.
Cunt.
I
Yeah,
wish.
but because we're American, we automatically have it right because America's always right. Now,
Exactly.
Oh, so,
yeah.
So at the end of your videos, you're just calling us all philosophers.
Yes. But you know, there's the certain like the period of time in like the 17 and 1800s where Germany was a huge capital of just culture. It was an immensely. It was the land of the thinkers and poets, right?
Right.
And usually people are proud of all of the
Good stuff.
yeah, the linguistic products of that era. And that is, I think, the surrogate way with which Germans are allowed to be proud of their history. Because they're proud of the specific part of their history where they were like, yeah, you know what, all this monarchy shit, fuck it. Let's just do a republic. And then not do a republic. But then still do a republic.
You know how you'd be proud of being German, but not actually outright say you're proud to be European?
That's complete nonsense, Brady. I'm sorry.
Nah, man, we all know Germany controls it. Britain's left now. Now you can get away with all the votes that we rejected.
Like all of the others could still reject the votes.
Yeah, but then you can pull the plug on their bank accounts.
But then the other ones, in a twist of irony, can invade Germany.
That's what you do. It's like what you do is you pull the old EU4 strategy. You let Germany get away with all its authority in election, but the moment it comes to the last one, you usurp it so you're in control. That's how Luxembourg will take over.
Yeah, that's how, I mean, genuinely, with all of the important people in the EU are from Luxembourg. I mean, let's be fucking honest.
Oh shit, I just stumbled on the actual plan.
Isn't Steam...
Joke's on them, I'm in the UK, you can't touch me now, European FBI.
Isn't Steam's like European... Yeah. The European ethno-states, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, wait, what is the European ethno-state?
I don't know, it sounds funny to say.
Also, have you people seen the new Eric Andre Netflix special?
Not yet.
It is fucking good, dude.
I'm not surprised.
It's really
I love
good.
Eric Andre.
Is it a stand-up or is it like something else?
It's a stand-up special, yeah. It's so wild. Holy shit.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't realize.
Are we talking? Are we talking like Dave Chappelle wild, or are we talking like Eric Andre show?
No, we're talking Eric Andre shit.
Awesome.
We're literally talking about Eric Andre. Why would it be Dave Chappelle wild and not Eric Andre wild?
Well, I mean, granted, but you know, he was able to go kind of crazy on an Adult Swim because he had control of the entire show. So
I mean, this is a Netflix. I mean, it does have one of those like a prank thing in the beginning. Where he pretends to be a cop and does bong hits in the streets of New Orleans, so it's pretty good.
I legit think that Adult Swim has less control, or like controls less the content of their episodes and their shows than YouTube tries to control the
that
video,
may
like,
well be
monetizing.
true, yeah.
Yeah, like a standard like corporate entity might be more chill than YouTube, which was supposed to break that.
Right.
Fucking porn memes, dude. I'm gonna go get another soda.
Oh, okay. I want to wait till Berg comes back to let him say this, because I found it on Reddit. Oh my god.
How is Reddit? I never use that.
I used to go Reddit all the time, but then it just...
have you guys watched the Psychic Pebbles pilot on Adult Swim?
Oh, Happy...
Smiling Friends, something like that.
Smiling Friends, yeah. I love that.
So this is Ben Shaw's Clouded Lemonade soda. I've had pretty much everything by Ben Shaw's except this one. I really like the Dandelion and Burdock one, but that one is only available a certain time of the year. And I'm going to try a technique now. I'm going to try and open this can with my Coom because I saw a video of this and I want to try it. This is going to go horribly wrong probably.
Any American fans listening to this, send Burger like like American sodas that have like high fructose corn syrup to the max.
Please
So
don't
he'll
do
try
that.
them on stream. So he'll try them on stream.
Oh, actually, something I found out. You know how Mexican Coke is so popular up here in the States?
How what?
Yeah.
It's real sugar.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause it's
now
real
I found,
sugar.
Now I found out in 2014, Mexico allowed the use of high fructose corn syrup. So since 2014, Mexican Coke has had high fructose corn syrup in it.
Oh, wow.
So
I swear
yeah.
to God, I will actually go terrorist if this country decides to allow it.
Oh, you mean if this country bows down to American trade demands as opposed to continuing to have the ability to remain united behind a globally important trading bloc, so you can actually dictate what kind of shit gets imported into your country?
No.
Oh, if only you hadn't made mistakes!
Have fun going to war against the cartels, Brady.
Burger, I think you'll find that my motive behind all this Brexit shit is to make UK shatter into a million pieces so Northumbria can be independent. And then
A
join.
million pieces again.
Yeah, and Ireland is gonna invade Northern Ireland and just become a whole Ireland.
Invade! They'll just simply go, oh hey, you're part of us now. Oh yay! That's literally how that's gonna go.
I want a Republic of England, but then a Kingdom of Wales, and Elizabeth is the Queen, but she is in London still.
And a Scottish Socialist Republic.
Actually, Scotland would be liberal. The south of England would end up being hyper-conservative, probably a member of the United States itself. And Northumbria would be the socialist, commie, syndicalist state, which everyone just embargoes, and it becomes a new North Korea.
Yeah.
So,
and Wales should
Burger.
become an absolute monarchy. Like the king actually, like the queen actually has power and
No,
can
they
like
should
shoot people on sight.
That'd be
You
Cornwall.
They should
Anarcho-monarchy.
resurrect the dragon on their. They should
So,
resurrect the dragon
Burger,
on
I
their
have
flag
somebody
and
with
bring
me
back the
today
dragon
that-
ruler.
Calm down. I have somebody with me today that has a very large misunderstanding that, as a German, I would like you to correct.
Okay.
This person believes that all of Germany is the same, and just because they are all parts of the German Republic, they are all the same as one another. Can you explain to this person why that is not the truth?
I mean, what do you mean the same?
Like Bavaria is very different. Somewhat
We have a
different from-
very distinct cultural. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't really go to the same supermarket chains. They're available everywhere, but I find that people up here are Rewe is much more popular up here than back when I'm from. I mean, what do you mean, like, the same? Like, culturally?
Culturally, yes.
Yeah, not even remotely. Like, we speak the same language, and that's basically where it ends. It's very similar to how states have different cultures in the United States.
Then why do
Granted, but
Germany
this
and
person
Austria just
also thought
combine?
the same thing about the U.S., so oof.
So, it's not massive differences, but there's very different cultural groups here. And you have, especially in the bigger states, like North Rhine-Westphalia, you have regions that have, like, the Ruhrpott region has a very strong coal mining culture. They're all about coal mining. And,
Like West Virginia in America?
yeah, a little bit. Except they're like a very densely populated region. And it's the worst place, genuinely the worst place. Aside from maybe Berlin. Which brings me to Berlin, which is arrogant. You have the huge cultural, you have the whole Lederhosen thing. That only is in, like, Bavaria. Only Bavarians and Austrians do it. So they have more in common with Austrians than actual real Germans.
Isn't Bavaria like a stronghold of Catholicism?
Well, Bavaria is basically the Texas of Germany. Because it's
I don't remember Bavaria being well known for its firepower.
It's very conservative. It's an industrial powerhouse. It has very strong, like, independence movement things that it wants to do. It's technically not a state, but it's only technically a state, but also it isn't called a state, which I'm pretty sure is the case also for Texas.
No, Texas is a state.
And it's... Okay. And it's also where all the stereotypes about Germans come from.
Oh, the Lederhosen and the
Yeah.
Bratwurst
And that's like
So
all of
Bavaria's like
America
the
in the
public,
minds of
so
Europeans
Bavaria's like
it's
the public face of Germany.
it hopefully not. Everybody hates Bavarians.
I
It's
think
the
it'd only be
the
half
problem
the
there
stereotypes,
is,
the other half come from Austria.
is we actually banned the true face of Germany. Like we like it's the first ever account of us actually banning an actual nation state. It was too OP, so it had to be nerfed.
I remember when. What the hell?
That's just hilarious. Sorry. Sorry. Go
Anyway,
ahead.
if up here in the north, people hate Bavarians, and Bavarians hate people from up here in the north.
So
There
really,
is-
it's more like the English South and English North.
There's absolutely. There's Ostfriesland, where the stereotype is that everybody there is stupid. Which is not wrong. I mean, they're literally people where I live speak a different language. They speak Frisian. I mean, sometimes. I saw this for a while a couple of years ago. They were trying to get their own currency started, but it didn't take off.
Wait, so like Bavaria is kind of there's elements there trying to be like independent.
Yeah, they always have.
Yeah,
It's
so is
yeah.
there a possibility of
Always
there
have
being
been.
a German Bürgerkrieg?
no, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. I mean, I see the pun there, but it's not going to happen ever. Every time they try, like the Berlin is like, no, that's not going to happen. And
Wait,
they're like, okay.
so you said Bavaria is very conservative. Wasn't Bavaria like a socialist republic for like a year?
There
Like the
was a socialist republic in Bavaria, but I mean,
Yeah.
Munich is a big city.
Oh, it was just like in the chaos of the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not like exactly sure on the history about that, but I'm pretty sure that because no, like Bavaria is extremely outside of Munich, which is just an obscene fucking city because it's often more expensive than fucking Berlin. As soon as you
Yeah.
get into the towns, it's like 1,000 years of Lovecrafting and incest. It's genuinely fucking scary.
Wow, they
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
wanted to be like Austria.
Oh, you just remind me of a SCP that I have to go look up the number, but there's an SCP which is what the Habsburg royal family turned into. Because it's an SCP where basically they just have been incesting for centuries, and they're just these huge, grotesque monsters like subhumans that live under Vienna, and they capture and kidnap. They capture and kidnap people to eat them. And
That
rape
is so cool, and
That
also
kind of sounds like the Habsburg family in the past already.
yeah, I
Like,
mean
weird
yeah.
creatures.
Yeah, let me.
That would
look
be like
at
the shittiest
numbers.
SCP.
Didn't we
Yeah,
have?
let me look-
Wasn't this last week in Fast Food Thursday where Sito was like, yeah, the current head of the Habsburg family is a Formula 3 race car driver, and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, that was last week.
Ah,
I
damn.
think that was
well,
last
it's
week.
like-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like the great grandson of Karl Marx is a parkour.
Yeah, runner in
parkour
London.
guy.
Yeah.
No. That sounds awesome.
There's some wild shit. I am actually sad that Hitler didn't have any children. I'd be like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's
two
a-
things.
To be fair, if he did, they'd probably been killed by the.
Yeah.
What
They
you
would have been
call it.
Romanov.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's,
no, because it's not hereditary. The Allies
you know-
treated pretty much there's a lot of families of Nazis that survived, and the Allies. I mean, maybe the Russians, but the other
Yeah,
Allies
probably
didn't
the
really do
Russians,
anything
yeah.
to them.
The
Not
thing
to
is-
mention
the-
Operation
the-
Paperclip.
It's Argentina.
The thing is, Berlin fell under Russian control on most.
Yeah, but he
most
probably
children
wouldn't
would
have
been
kept them in
mutilated.
Berlin. He probably would have kept them in Berchtesgaden or something.
Or they would have fled to Argentina and then got stopped by the Jews.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but
they
the
have kids
Mossad
that made
also
it to
didn't
Argentina.
kill like the children of Nazis. They just killed the actual SS people
really?
who did the
But
war.
the
Name the
Russians have
children.
killed the children of like monarchs.
Yeah,
They're
but
enemies.
that was
So-
that was to extinguish the legitimacy of the aristocracy in Russia itself as part of the revolution.
Yeah, during the.
But the Third Reich was never an aristocracy. I mean, it was never like a hereditary aristocracy.
You know what?
But like, they've only had one leader. That was the thing, and like. I bet
No. They had more than one leader.
Would have tried to see them. A lot of Nazi sympathizers would probably see them as the next legitimate leader.
No, actually.
No, absolutely not.
That was not what the Nazi ideology was about. No. God damn it. Let me find the guy because I forget his name.
Anyway, I posted the SCP link in the chat if anybody. It's SCP-3288 is the mutated cannibal incestuous Habsburg family that hides under Vienna.
Oh, for anyone that didn't understand my shitty pun that I did earlier, Bürgerkrieg is the German word for civil war.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
I mean, anyone in the audience, for example, like, just watch the live
There's an
stream.
audience for this.
Well, don't forget there are
three of
also
them.
Nazi survivors in the U.S. because of Operation Paperclip. So
where was the fuck? There was Hitler had a successor who was in charge. Yes, Karl Dönitz.
It kind of defaulted.
didn't he negotiate surrender like a few hours into his appointment?
Yeah, he was the. I don't think he was Reichsführer. It says on Wikipedia that the Führer. He was the.
He was in charge for a very brief moment where Britain had like a puppet Nazi state during like.
Yeah, from the 30th of April to the 23rd of May in 1945.
The reason why that got rid of the Soviets were not happy we did that. They were not happy in the slightest. They were like, "No, dude, these guys need to die."
Imagine if they kept the state, then flipped it around, turning it into a state of the eternal Anglo.
The Soviets were onto us.
The process of finding a successor to Hitler would have been a completely political one. Family heritage didn't being Hitler's son would have probably in the future given you a lot of political clout if you chose to be that, but it wouldn't have necessarily it was explicitly in many ways a rejection of aristocracy.
The thing is, Karl Donitz, he basically got that position by default.
Yeah, it's just everyone else was dead.
They were dead or trying to run away. Ha ha. I love the best story for me in terms of the Nazis trying to flee is Himmler.
Over the last
fact
2
that
years,
he thought he could get away with it, and the soldiers knew who he was. It's looks like that propaganda backfired on you because everyone knows your face, you little shit.
There was some dude.
It's like a shitty Scooby-Doo episode.
So that Monty Python skit wasn't actually based on what happened?
I don't know what Monty Python skit you mean.
There's
so many
where where Hitler and Himmler and Goering, they all make it over to England, and he's they're hiding out.
Mr. Hitler.
Mr. Hitler.
We are planning a hiking trip. Oh well, what you want? Oh no, this is a map of Stalingrad. You won't have much fun in Stalingrad. No, not much fun in Stalingrad.
There was one dude. He just walked out of the bunker. And he disappeared, and he was never seen again. That is crazy. He was some Secret Service guy. Yeah, he was a Nazi. He was yeah, no, he's gonna lose. And he walks out in the middle of Soviet-occupied Berlin, walks out the door of the bunker, never seen or heard from again.
He was probably shot by the Soviets and put into a mass grave or something like that.
No, they're probably...
Or just an unmarked grave.
No. You want to know what actually happened? He became the leader of Argentina and then lost another war.
I was about to say, and then 8 years later, him and his brother founded Aldi.
Dude, my city, the city that I live in, which is right next to New York City, it's supposed to have one of those pretty soon.
Those are good.
Aldi? We have 3 of those now, and they're great. I love Aldi.
And there's sister cities with a city in France that has the same name. So now both of them are gonna have that supermarket.
Actually, that one German, I think it's either German or Austrian, Lidl or LIDL.
Yeah, Lidl is also very popular. There's a lot of
that-
German supermarket chains. We have Penny, we have Rewe, we used to have Sky, which is now Rewe also.
Yeah, Lidl is coming into the United States as well.
Nice.
I like how Walmart tried to go into Germany in like the 90s and 2000s. And
Yeah, it didn't work.
Failed so bad. Especially because of like one of the big gripes was just the greeters and like how the workers like absolutely did not want to be as friendly as Walmart said they should be.
Yeah, and like the customers were weirded out by that. It's why are you being nice to me? Are you trying to murder me or some shit?
Yeah,
That was some sus shit, man.
I know. I thought that was so funny. It's like, yeah, that's a major yeah. It's like, oh god, you'd be so freaked out if you came to the States with all the hospitality, all the fake hospitality we have.
It's like how there was this American restaurant, which they did like American style waiting, and the motherfucker was just standing at the table.
Yeah.
No, go away. I don't want to see you. At any point,
like that.
I don't even want to see you while you are bringing me the food. I don't want to know your name. I do not want to know your name.
I want to open up a restaurant.
At the table, like, was it after you got your food?
Yeah, they would just show up all the time. Oh, how are you? Yeah, is the food good? It's like, fuck
that's
off.
normal. Yeah, that's normal.
That's normal in America.
Yeah, I know that's normal in America. It's the worst.
Oh yeah, I fully agree.
I like
a restaurant.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to open up a restaurant where all the waiters have to wear like Guy Fawkes masks.
Oh god, the thing
so
I hate.
Yeah.
The thing I hate the worst about going into Best Buy is every 5 minutes some dude in a blue shirt comes up to you. He's like, "Hi, how you doing? You need anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm just looking."
Yeah, I would punch him in the face at some point.
That's why,
Holy
I
shit!
Sit around for 10 minutes waiting to for somebody to come by and be like, "Hey, I need this."
Dude, I worked at.
That's locked.
I worked at GameStop, and we like that's kind of in like our instructions. Yeah, when someone comes in, we have to say hi. Do you need any help with anything? And like if there goes like 5 minutes without like being talked to by one of the workers, we have to like see them again. It's like, hey,
yeah. No, I hate it. When I go into a store, I know exactly what I want, or I'm browsing. I almost the only time I ever need any help is if it's locked behind the counter.
If I need help, I will come talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
As hello, can you show me where the penis pumps are? What the fuck was that?
Like, bro, if you're just gonna come up and talk to me, you better be bringing some dank memes, because I ain't trying to hear your story.
Oh, dude, that reminds me. I saw something on Reddit a couple, like yesterday, actually. That was kind of a fucked up joke. Essentially, someone said that the Make-A-Wish Foundation should change their name to Final Fantasy.
Senor
I mean,
Hitler.
it's not wrong. That's not wrong.
I fucking Skyrim memes, man.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm watching the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, it's not just like restaurants in America. Any store where you buy anything that's like a chain, or even a lot of mom and pop shops, they'll be just exactly like that.
It's like, can I just go, I'm European, please don't talk to me?
Oh,
actually,
I mean, you can.
There's a restaurant where they're like just mean to you. For what I think it was just called Dick's.
No, but then also they'd probably be actively mean to me. They'd come to my table and you didn't shave your neck properly, you piece of shit.
You guys reminded me of something I have lying
Doesn't
around.
Casa Bonita do that too?
I mean,
is like
down
a
in Spain, you have
restaurant.
to like fucking go, hey, fucking what the guy? Yeah, have to fucking do this up there, and you can't see it on the camera. You have to fucking and they will just ignore you most of the time. You have to really get their attention. And,
No, in
no,
America, that's
it-
rude. That's
Yeah,
really
if you-
rude to just
yeah,
snap your
yeah,
fingers
if
at a
you-
waiter.
no,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
won't
that's-
pay attention to you if you don't do it in Spain.
They'll
Yeah.
do it in America. They'll pay
Yeah.
attention to you, but it's just considered rude. Like what you're doing too much.
Yeah, I feel.
Spain,
You
that's
know
like
what
not
I?
enough.
You know what I think is rude is when fucking people are standing at my thing all the time and like asking me, I don't. Are you this insecure? You didn't even cook the fucking food. Please go away.
Like a- like a
there's
British
certain-
officer with the big hats.
Yeah, it's come on.
There's certain restaurants where the waitresses will like crouch down to eye level to talk to you, and that's super.
Well, what am I, a child?
Yeah, they
Nah,
crouch
a lot of-
down. Well, I guess they do it because they kind of want to like come off as like, oh, we respect you. And it's like, no, this
It's
is just creepy.
Psychological trick, actually. It's a proven psychological trick that has shown to give like waiters or waitresses that use that trick to get like higher tips. That's all it is. Because
Is
like,
it so you
when
could
see
look in their
someone-
cleavage?
No, so that way you can look them straight in the eye, and because you guys are the same height, you'll see them as equals, and therefore you'll feel more comfortable saying what you want. Yeah. So you just
What?
come off as
What
more
the
friendly.
fuck? I'm at a restaurant. Well, how am
They do that
I
in
uncomfortable? I look at the. I will literally pay for the money. If I say I want this done in this specific way, they're gonna fucking do it because I'm a customer at the fucking restaurant. How am I need to be made comfortable? I'm an adult human.
I want you to come to America so badly, dude.
Holy
Like,
shit!
seriously. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Go to like our TGI Fridays.
I almost
I
went to a
want-
TGI Fridays in Denmark, but it was expensive as fuck.
I want to take Burger to like a Cracker Barrel. He would lose
Yes.
his goddamn mind.
What
He
is
would
a
lose-
Cracker Barrel?
It's a
Oh,
it's
dude,
a,
the
it's
white
a
people
southern.
and-
It's it's a barrel full of white people. No, it's a southern. it's a southern style restaurant chain that actually got in a lot of trouble like last decade for being really racist, which isn't surprising.
Like, were they actually racist, or were they the word cracker is in the name racist?
no,
Figuratively
it's like a couple of black cops went in there to eat, and the waitresses wouldn't serve them.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah,
This
and
is
was
America.
This was in the 2010s?
Well, I think the real
No,
question
like
is, was it because they were
2005s.
black or because they were cops?
I think it was because they were black.
Yeah, and because it's probably in the South.
It was.
Dude, if you come to America, you gotta do like a full tour, like spend a couple days in like the New York area.
Oh, I
spend a couple
really,
days
I
where he
really
is at.
want to do a full tour of the United States. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The thing is, that is expensive as
Yeah.
fuck.
Just
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So like
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Some other like someday where you actually get some
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you blow up on YouTube, like really blow
Well-
up, like million subscribers blow up.
like
Or just have Neil
Oh,
pay for it all.
I would do.
Well, you're-
I would do a documentary series on the United States called "Understanding America." I would do that.
That'd be great.
I've been
Yes.
planning this
Right,
for
right, right, right.
years.
If you do that right at the end, just like deadpan, look at camera, and go, I still don't get it.
I expect that to fully be the thing that happens.
Expect it to
actually,
be
the
like a
best- the be-
office style thing.
Actually, the best kind of tour you can do is it's not to do the full United States, but go from like New York and just go west, or go from like Florida and just go west.
Avoid Florida.
Yeah,
go from
because
New
then
York
you
and just go east all the way back to Germany.
yeah, or do that. But it's like that would be less expensive and give you more time to like enjoy or experience.
No, but I want to go to rural fucking Montana to see someone shoot their gun and then be scared for my life as I realize that they and I are the only person in a 500-kilometer radius, and
I
they
think
are
we're
in
like
fact wielding a
Pennsylvania for that.
shotgun.
You only have to go to Pennsylvania for that, and that's not that far from New York.
And they've just mentioned that they've disliked a couple of my videos recently, and so I'm like,
Oh.
Yeah,
And it was the really good videos too.
The problem
still-
with
I
Berger
still- I
becoming
like-
really famous is he actually has an opinion, and it might not always agree with the viewers. And what I've noticed is this is a very bad thing to blow up on YouTube.
I don't think I want to go past like a 100,000, 200,000 subs. Anything beyond
about
that,
half a
and I'm
million?
just
That's why you do your viewer reduction strats, like say that beaches don't exist.
no. I do like some to like the video I did about the cops was kind of one of those. Okay, I'm gonna cut out some of I'm gonna trim some of the fat.
That's smart.
Type deals.
Yeah, that's
you,
really
you,
smart.
you talking about being alone with somebody and they have a gun and you being terrified. Just remind, because I've become more aware of how weird like our Americanisms are. Because like a few years ago, I went out with some friends and we ended up at some dude's like house and he was sitting there playing Call of Duty, on his TV and shit, and we're just kind of there hanging out. And then not one of my friends, one of his friends, while they were playing, was like, oh, he like shifted a bit to get more comfortable, and he took out his fucking handgun and just put it on the table, just so he could sit more comfortably. And I just says this like, that's totally normal, but for like somebody who's not used to that, that's probably fucking terrifying.
That
Oh,
that
yeah.
is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like it's like nobody thought it, but looking back, I'm like, yeah, that would be really fucking weird if you're not used to it.
dude, if you do
Yeah,
your
but-
trip, you have to go to New York, Florida, Texas, some Midwest state, and California.
New Orleans.
Uh,
If I have to pick one city in all of the United States that I want to see, it's gonna be New Orleans.
Why would you
Yeah.
want
But if
to go to the equivalent of Dresden after 1945?
Because of the music.
And the food.
What, the silent
my God,
echo for ruins?
Brady, it's been rebuilt. New Orleans has been
A lot of
rebuilt
it, yeah.
for like a decade. Yeah,
And how long
mean, yeah.
after did that take?
about
Not that
decade.
long.
Like,
Yeah, it wasn't that long. It was about like
I mean, there's
5
still
years.
parts
like-
unrepaired yet.
But
Yeah,
That
well,
is
like,
so
yeah,
fucking
Berger,
crazy.
how long did it take for Germany to fix Berlin?
For like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's Germans. They're like they don't sleep apparently.
No, we
they're
just
like
sleep
the-
in shifts.
Dude,
What?
they're like Europe's Japan.
Embrace
Ironically.
prehistory. I'm gonna go get my last soda.
Okay.
I want Brady to come to the States.
I'm not leaving this fucking island unless it sinks into the abyss.
I thought you were about to say, I'm not leaving this fucking house.
I mean, I barely do that, to be honest.
Yo, if Burger King comes to New York or like the New York area, I'll happily give him a tour. Especially if some New Jersey.
No shit, I sunburn within 2 minutes.
If Burger
If he
comes
co-
to
if he-
California, I will be happy to show him around.
So
If he comes
this
to
is
South- if he comes to South. Oh, sorry.
7-Up Saveur Cocktail Exotique. I do not know why it is in French. Go ahead. But what's so weird about Cracker Barrel? Like, that is especially weird.
It's very,
gift shop.
very.
They have a
it's
gift
very-
shop.
Well, I mean,
It's a
aside from the
restaurant.
gift shop, the food.
Yeah.
The food is very, very.
Southern.
You don't
Good
go
shitty.
there at the you don't go there at the beginning of the day. You go at the end of the day when you know you're gonna pass out later.
Or you
Nah,
just
this is
don't
great.
You're
The
gonna
only
pass-
time, dude, the only time I went to Cracker Barrel, I've only ever been once when I was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was for breakfast, and it was amazing, in my opinion.
Although, if you are
Cracker
in
Barrel's
Nashville,
good.
Tennessee, why would you go to Cracker Barrel instead of one of the ribs places that is sold out at like 10?
No, I went, no, because I went
Jeez.
because I was there for a school trip / conference when I was like 17, and like one of the people that worked at the state level organization that I was part of, he just took us to Cracker Barrel, which is right across the street from the Grand Ole Opry, which is where we were staying, and
My
paid for
question
everything, so they're
remains: why didn't he take you to one of those ribs places?
because we also had things to do that day.
That's
And it
true.
was right across the street.
You do stand there for
And it was-
hours, and then they say we're out.
Plus, it was
Yeah.
breakfast too. It
Okay,
wasn't like
Cracker
lunch
Barrel's
or
okay, right?
dinner.
But fuck Cracker Barrel, we need to take Burger to Acclaim Jumpers.
I've never even
was
heard
not-
of that one.
Yeah, no idea.
Claim
I
I
jump.
think it might be like a Californian local thing. It's like our.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I do want to go to an In-N-Out burger.
That's in
And
California.
then
Yeah.
I thought
It-
you were the
the
In-N-Out burger.
the In-N-Out Burger, as an outsider, like not from anywhere where
What about an in and
It's-
outsider?
it's the burgers are
Maybe
very
in
good.
and
The
out,
food is very good, but it's very overhyped. It's not like
Okay.
the ambrosia that some people make.
Yeah.
Like the
Yo,
thing-
Burger,
Like,
if you
as
ever.
a nuanced
Uh,
Californian, I'll say this: the burgers are good, but the fries are shit.
Well, you gotta get them animal
mean
style.
chips?
Basically,
The
you have
chips
to
is
get
shit.
you have to get them animal style fries.
Need them Chick-fil-A's.
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A
has some really
sucks.
good.
Dude, okay. Burger, if you ever come to America, stop by New York. I'll give you a tour. I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
And we can go. We can get like New York pizza and New York hot dogs, like street
Oh
dogs.
yes, I like.
As a-
There's
right.
New York for the food. I would definitely want to see.
As
Chicago
a
pizza.
And I'll show you a bit of
foreigner,
Jersey.
as
too.
a foreigner, I know exactly where you should go. If they rename it, go to Flavor Town.
Yes. Yes.
I know it's not gonna happen, but it would be so funny.
I fucking
be
should,
such a-
dude.
It would be such an Ohio thing.
What? What will be
The
such an
rena-
Ohio thing?
Because there's a petition to rename Columbus, Ohio to Flavortown,
Okay.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
I
might.
don't know about this. I'm from Ohio.
I have family there. I can go there too.
I would go to Ohio probably just to see as a hangout with Anfash. But he isn't from Columbus. He's from a different one.
Cleveland. He's from Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yep, I'm like, he's like an hour.
Oh,
away
he's
from
from a shithole.
Hey, he's told me it's from what he's told me, it's actually quite good.
This is Anfash, though. He thinks living in the woods is a good idea.
I do
There's
think
Yeah,
he does.
no.
areas, like,
No, Ohio, Cleveland is famous for one of their rivers catching on fire.
Yeah, he told me about
Cuyahoga
that.
River?
one of the best hospitals in the world. Like Saudi
The Cuyahoga
people
River, I think, was the one.
will fly there.
Yeah.
To like heart surgery.
Yeah,
and
it's a-
stuff like that.
It's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
2-hour drive
Baltimore
from
has the
Cleveland to
best
Columbus.
hospital in the world, but it's also where the
Yeah.
wire is set. So I don't know.
Also, don't forget, like Harvard, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Aside from Harvard, is actually a pretty rundown, shitty area.
Damn.
Like if you leave the Harvard campus, it's
Yeah,
like
Cambridge.
don't travel outside of the Harvard campus alone.
Dude, I disagree. I've been
Fucking
to Boston
serious?
several times. I love it.
Boston.
You gotta go to Boston too.
this
the price is increasing by a lot, but like,
I
there's a
knew
lot of parts of America.
I knew that there was a distinctive Boston accent because I, when I didn't speak English properly, I knew that there was a distinctive Boston accent before I knew that there was a distinctive Southern accent. Just from media, because everyone was talking about, oh yeah, they sound like they're from Boston, and I didn't know what it sounded like, but I knew it's like, oh, Boston. Whereas I thought that Boston was a way bigger deal in the US than it actually is, because it was just so much bigger in the media.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are not from Boston really hate Boston.
Probably because
'Cause-
they're not from Boston.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not from Boston. I love it.
So many people from Boston.
The
are just
English really
complete-
hate Boston.
I
I quite like
don't
it.
give a fuck. I barely give a fuck.
It brings
But
up
not like-
flashbacks.
But no, like Burger, if you ever come, if you ever
Oh,
come
you're
to
on about
South
the
Coast-
tea harbor. I was wondering what the fucking reference was.
Yeah.
No, we long since stopped giving a shit about that because
Mhm.
we beat the shit out of China.
Playing the long con. I got you.
But no,
Huh?
if you ever come out to where I live, I'll take you to Gary's gun shop. We could shoot some guns. There's
Hell
an Audi
yeah.
dealership. There's an Audi dealership next door to it for some reason.
Or I could just take you in my backyard.
I do want the rural US experience, and I think that this is a great thing about being me. I have realized, and I realized this a while ago, but that I basically, wherever I go in the world, I mean in the industrialized world, let's say, there's gonna be people there. I could just go on vacation anywhere and I could be like, hey, does anyone live there? And can you show me around town? And that will just happen. And I've realized this. And then I also realized I'm extremely poor.
See,
Yeah.
you could knock out the Anfash and the rural part, because if you go to Anfash, you get Cleveland in the big city, and you drive like 40 minutes to the east, and then you're rural.
Yeah, but I feel like Ohio rural is different from like the Dakotas rural, I suppose. Because Ohio is
I wouldn't
like
even say
quite
that's rural.
densely
That's like
populated
wilderness.
compared to like the middle of
Hey.
nowhere.
Wait, is Burger going around Capistan?
No, this is all completely theoretical. I wish I could, genuinely.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you never know what the future brings, you know?
Yeah.
I was about to say the Dakotas. The Dakotas are like, we have like ranches and farms. We're not like.
Yeah, I know, but it's still not as densely populated as Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Go to a national forest, dude. Go to a national forest.
Yeah, like the national
Yellowstone,
parks
Wyoming.
and stuff. That is fascinating to me. We
Dude,
don't have
go-
stretches of wilderness that big in Europe anymore.
Dude, there's a perfect solution to all this. Go to Yellowstone in Wyoming. Wyoming only has like 3 people,
It's
and
gonna
it's large
blow
as
up.
fuck.
The moment
But
I
it
set
might,
foot
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
park.
but it might explode, bro.
You gotta live life on the edge, you know?
We have
YOLO.
parks larger than nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy.
It's like some people don't realize just how large
Yeah, like
the
my
U.S. is. It's
yeah.
like you can drive for 12 hours, and like you could start in Florida or Texas and drive for 12 hours and still be in the same state.
See, joke's on you. Britain and France have rural parks bigger than nations. It's called Africa.
True.
So I have
That's not a
different.
park. That's a zoo.
I have a couple of ideas for like.
We also have a giant spice rack in India.
Basically, my idea for understanding America
Dutch.
is that I would do a trip around the United States where I would beforehand have planned what kind of things I would like to cover, but then the episodes would it would be a docu-series where it would be like interspliced with the different areas of the journey. So in every area I would do something a little bit for one part of the, and so the first one, the first topic on the list is race.
Wait, are you
Perfect timing.
talking about like cars or?
No, I am not speaking of cars.
Not racing, not races.
I mean, I might open up with a NASCAR shot just for the joke of it. Then
That's in Florida, Talladega.
I mean,
I swear to
yeah,
God, you mentioned
should
Cleveland,
have-
and then Anfash shows up. It's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times.
I mean,
Yeah, you
I
just
mean,
gotta snap your fingers. He's there.
I mean, I highly recommend checking out Talladega. Talladega in Alabama is pretty awesome. As long as you don't mind the incredibly racist and angry people flying the Confederate flag.
I mean,
outside
I'm
the
white,
gates.
so I
Well,
don't.
not anymore. NASCAR
Well,
banned that shit.
No, outside, just out. No, there's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
my
all the
God.
protests- Yeah, there's all the protests outside of Talladega.
Burger, do you like the idea of putting yourself in existential danger where you may get shot on the spot?
East St.
Absolutely,
Louis.
I love that idea.
Right, what
Go
you
to-
do
go-
is you get a black man, right? You go to like the south and say, and this is my gay lover.
I do want to do something like that.
My
I
goodness.
have ideas.
No, just roll up to some some rusty ass village in bumfuck Alabama and be like, yeah.
Fuck snort.
Then fucking
Alabama
music, big
No, that's
subject
Arkansas,
matter.
sorry.
The only thing I have written about it thus far, because this is what my impression is, U.S. music was born in cotton fields. Because all good American music can trace its lineage back to that.
Oh yeah.
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 Born in
Burger,
cotton
I
fields,
got a
refined in
one
New
up for-
Orleans.
I got a one up for your fuckery.
Food,
right?
obviously, would be probably like a 5-hour episode because I love food.
Yeah.
What about booze?
Oh,
Religion. Religion.
Here's a legit
Oh,
thing
jeez.
you should do in order to try and rack up some of that viewer count, right? While you're driving around, just record the drive and put it as an ASMR video.
Oh, okay. So I looked up the biggest national parks in America. The largest one is in Alaska, which
thought
is
it was Alaska.
no, it's Alaska's Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Reserve has, and it's bigger than Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Switzerland combined. But in the lower 48,
I like how it's two national parks in a country. Like,
yeah, dude. But the biggest in the lower 48 states are Death Valley, which is just desert, Yellowstone, which is second place, and the Everglades in Florida.
Damn.
You know, just
Well-
desert really does a disservice to what lives in a desert.
No, like Death Valley.
Peyote.
Death Valley is amazing, especially in the wintertime when they get a little bit of rain.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful when like the flowers that only bloom for like a day, you know, when that actually happens. Death Valley for like one day out of the year is fucking gorgeous. The rest of the time, it's a
and that
sweltering
day,
hellhole.
in that day, instead of charring, like becoming a piece of chard, you'll just get skin cancer.
Yeah.
I just found in my
that's the best
notes.
kind of cancer, really.
Yeah, I just found in my notes a thing where I would go to like a really, like a deep South conservative Christian thing, and ask for cock. And then it's like, and I'm sorry, I'm English.
No, you can pretend to be a gay prostitute, Burger.
Just go to a NASCAR race, dude. Just go
And
to a
then
NASCAR race.
fucking language.
No, just stick a massive sign in the ground.
An
next
episode
to
on language
that
because I'm
says-
very because it's wrong, and also the American obsession with cursing is fascinating to me. The law,
I
that would
gotta-
be currently a very interesting episode to do because of police brutality, the weird ass court system you have.
For that, you have to go to New York for the law part. You have to go to New York City.
Drugs.
NYPD's fucked.
Hey, Burger, I've got a one up for you fucking with people, right?
Yeah.
When you go into a southern state, right? Just the first member of the clan you see, if you ever find one, just straight up call him the N-word.
You'll
I-
die. You
here's the
fucking
thing.
die.
What
What
up,
if it were
man?
like-
Here's the
episode of,
thing,
the
okay?
Folk Show.
I say the N-word when I'm saying it, well, like when talking about it. I am not super comfortable saying it in the presence of Americans, and I wouldn't say it while in America, because I feel like there you can make a very strong argument for the cultural weight of it. But saying it to a KKK guy,
They're almost certainly armed.
No, I mean, depending, most chances you'd be fine because they're like overweight and like can't walk upstairs without getting in a breath. Because
They hold
Yeah, but
guns.
guns
They could
can
have
travel faster.
hidden a
That they can be
Glock in their
proud
rolls of flab.
No, man, if you find a KKK member, just ask them. It's like, do you think Europeans think that you are correct? And if
I
you
don't
go
think
down
he cares.
like,
Just
Yeah.
be like, hey,
I love
hey man,
working
I've got a
too.
question that I've always wanted to ask you guys. Do Italians count as white?
yeah.
An episode on drugs, because the American I just have
Yeah, Florida for that one.
hang out with a meth dealer.
That's Florida, dude. That's full on Florida. So
Uh,
you
No,
can
that's
cover
that's
race.
just rule. That's just rural America.
Heroin?
The dream. It says go to LA but interview the homeless. Because
Yeah,
the
or go to San
obsession,
Francisco.
just the American dream is just such an. Yeah, I would go to San Francisco for the Frontier episode, because it would be about tech a lot, the tech frontier.
Yeah, but you can also do the homeless one because San Francisco has a huge homeless problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
I
think
know.
bigger than LA. So you
Yeah.
can do both
You
of
could
them.
make it a contrast.
But no, but LA has a bigger. People move to LA to become famous actors, right? So that's more of that fits more into the dream narrative.
No.
Oh, okay.
What one of the things you should do when you go to LA is just interview failed YouTube stars.
Oh, that would be so cruel.
Like all like
Roger.
Yeah. Like, stick a camera in their face and like, hey, to my 25,000 subscribers, what's it like to be a failure?
Sports, Americans, because you have just different sports. I don't know why, but you just had
win the others.
You just have different sports. The whole world has sports that the whole world plays, and then there's America.
American football is fucking ridiculous. I'm not averse.
America's greatest accomplishment was tying 1-1 with England in football.
Nice. With fucking England. England, the Premier League, best fucking football league alongside the Primera División. But the national team has always been so
fucking shit.
Jesus Christ.
I was actually pissed off that the one team we actually beat was fucking Iceland, and I wanted to see them reach the final.
The Icelanders were so cool last time.
Whoever said the whole America's greatest achievement was going 1-1. Are you talking about like just sports or like in general? Because remember, we nuked a country twice.
Yes,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, that wasn't an achievement. You got anime out of the other end. That's not exactly a result.
And
no.
obviously, the most important episode, guns.
Yeah.
You can go to Florida for that one too.
Yeah. So I would do some of it everywhere. Like the one that I've thought about the most is the food one.
See, I think
that's New York and New Orleans.
Burger, I know how you can get a good intro.
Do music in New Orleans.
I know how you can get a good intro for your guns one,
No.
and that's simply ask the Americans. It's like, can you shoot your national anthem?
actually,
That is such a good idea, though.
Dude.
You could just compile all of these ideas and call the series "Doing Euro Things in America."
You know what I do? I have them. I do like different pitches and make it the European anthem.
What, like half a Confederate flag while playing the EU anthem, or like?
Yeah.
a gun cover.
Oh damn! Yeah, there's like the food one. I'd go to New York. New Jersey, obviously also New Orleans, because New Orleans is distinctive in a lot of different ways. Just the South, Nashville, for the barbecue, and the hot chicken. Yeah.
While we're on about New Orleans, have any of you guys seen Artun Shea's I forget what it's called? It's New Orleans History Series.
I'm sorry, what? That exists?
Yeah, it's some top shelf shit. Burger, you would probably like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm developing New Orleans at Shadowrun, so what's it called?
Artun Shea Films, New Orleans History.
Artun Shea, New Orleans.
Yeah, the guy used to be like a tour guide and stuff, and
Orleans.
I think what you should do after the main bulk of them is do like an episode or two, maybe 3, where you go to Canada as juxtaposition.
I mean, I might be interested in doing this in other countries.
Do one for Germany.
Yeah, maybe that would be an interesting way of getting to know my own country. That's not wrong.
North Korea.
Yeah. Understanding North Korea.
I think out of all of us here, I'm only the most mental one who would do that.
North Korea actually, in the late 80s and stuff, it was actually, not prosperous, but it wasn't horrible.
You mean it was better than Right. No. Can I just interject? This argument comes up for a lot of nations, but they forget just how miserable it's like. Well, for a short while, Soviet Russia was quite uplifting. For a short while, the commie China was uplifting. Yeah, because the systems before them were completely totalitarian to the absolute T. You had Romanov, Russia, fucking the nationalist China, which was based.
Brady, you gotta admit, right, that the Soviet Union was a
Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-un.
Kim Il-sung.
Kim Il-sung.
Yeah, he actually created like kind of policies of self-sustainability, but they in '89 they actually kind of had their own Olympics, and like I think 150 countries showed up.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not just the late '80s, dude. During the Korean War, North Korea was like more advanced than South Korea.
It's because like the whole fucking island was controlled by the Japanese for like a turn of a
It's
century.
not an island.
Brady, about your
That's
systems
peninsula.
before bad nations were
The
also bad
1988
argument.
Olympic Games were in South Korea.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't the Olympics. It was like their own Olympics.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
It was their own specific national thing, but they had
You
like
mean
150
you mean the
countries
Olympics
show
of
up.
everyone who hates the USA?
No, the U.S. was there. Even.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was it like, did they like use their actual Olympic teams and everything?
I do not know the details about it, but a lot of it has to do with the that fucking hotel in North Korea. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I know which one you mean, though.
Big spiky boy.
Damn, now I'm a
Yeah.
po' boy. Fuck.
Yeah, but anyway, about Brady, about your argument, bad nations' systems before them were also bad. You got to admit, the Soviet Union was a massive improvement on Tsarist Russia.
I mean, it was fighting World War One. I mean, how much? Like,
It
everyone was-
industrialized the region.
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
like
great
proper
loss of
industrialization,
life.
at least some sort of industrialization of agriculture, and just not a little bit less totalitarianism, maybe.
Yeah. Plus, keep in mind that
No,
South
it
Korea
was more totalitarian.
South Korea was largely like agrarian until somewhat recently, especially during the Korean War.
Yeah. And
It was
Nicholas
like the South
II's
America.
reign focused like an insane amount on just political subjugation of the population. If you want to talk about Soviet authoritarianism, talk about Tsar Nicholas's authoritarianism. That is, if you look into it,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
some
that's
pretty
the-
brutal shit.
That's why.
That's why they
everyone
had the
was
revolution.
better.
Yeah, same thing in Cuba too.
So,
Cuba.
Brady,
No, my point is like these communist overthrows and but it made it better, like as if it's going to work to the West. Like I can guarantee you, the Union of Britain will be the worst state Britain will be.
Brady,
since
very
1066.
few people unironically believe that violent cessation of the means of production would end well. Nobody believes that.
Then why do so many people push for it?
The vocal
It's not
minority.
that many. It's
It also-
really
it
not
also-
that many.
There's
It also
like
depends on the type.
shitloaders. There's like millions of
I
shitloaders. and then there's
advocate
like a
for the
dozen people in the world who
redistribution of the
actually
means
think
of production, but not violently.
I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on what kind, because you can have like what they had in Soviet Russia, which is essentially just like it was just like standard capitalism, but it was state-run. Or you can have like
No.
co-op type of.
Not really.
of-
Under Lenin, they introduced some capitalism to stop, famine
No, I'm
in agriculture. But
because
apart
Lenin
from that,
realized
it was
the
pretty.
system-
It was pretty heavily
I'm
communist.
I'm not saying like,
worked for an
they were
employee-owned
capitalists. I'm talking about like the state, the leadership of like that. Essentially, the whole employer relationship was very similar to what happened to what it was in capitalist countries. But you can also talk about cooperatives, which is a whole new fucking thing.
Actually, my company is employee owned.
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah,
way,
the
that's
worker
way
and
closer
co-ops,
to
I
like.
think, is a great idea. So yeah, there's a lot of range in leftist ideas, and
Yeah.
so the problem that happens with a lot of
They're
these,
both communist.
the real problem, let me tell you,
Or
is
true.
ideology.
Ideology.
We
Sniff.
need to just kill all the trees. We wouldn't have the problems.
What I find fun, I was taking the piss.
Yeah,
out of
nah, y'all just need to
I-
stop eating out of trash cans. Problem
Yeah.
solved.
I like taking the piss out of American like politics because anything that is it's like so like affordable healthcare that smells like communist mischief to me.
Well, honestly, at this point, I
It's
feel
not even just
bad taking the
communism.
piss out of American politics because it just feels mean at this point because it's actually just so fucking
Yeah.
bad.
Bullying
I-
the
I-
retarded kid on the
I will
playground.
beat that- I will beat that horse until it becomes compost.
It is already. It's been compost for a very long time, Brady.
Dude, okay, like, there's two things I want to interject. One, it's not just like Soviet Russia. A lot of conservatives will compare it to a Nazi Germany. I recently saw a Republican House representative tweet out a thing that, like, very recently, like last week, he tweeted out something like, he's just naming the different policies that like they think the Democrats want, like universal health care, job security, and it had like a picture of Hitler in it with a little girl.
And it's,
So it's not even just communism. A lot of people conflate.
I mean, that is so dumb. Genuinely.
And this is a man in Congress. And this is a dude that's currently in Congress.
I saw this is the first time that I realized that America is run by idiots. There was on some senator on a federal science committee was talking about how global warming can't be real because it says in the Bible that God will never flood the earth again.
Dude, you wanna hear something stupider?
That is a galaxy brain moment right there.
Dude, you wanna hear something somewhat stupider? There's I believe it was a senator as well, and I think that same committee, Jim Inhofe, I think is his name. He just said he literally brought a snowball into the floor of the Senate and said, "See, global warming isn't real. It's snowing outside."
That's like ScoMo and his lump of coal in Australia.
Oh, I saw that shit. It's so why?
So fucking dumb.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Also,
but you got to remember that the Australian government is owned by fracking companies.
That is true. The Australian government is basically the American government, but they have a different weird accent.
Yeah.
It's basically they do all of the things that you're supposed to do to have an actual democracy, but it still doesn't work.
Dude,
that is Australia.
I've heard this before. Australia is basically Britain's Texas.
Yeah.
We use it to test nukes, so it's more like our Nevada, and we go there gamble sometimes.
It's like in the US.
I keep forgetting that's where we tested all our nuclear weapons.
In the US, you can go, oh yeah, it's the police brutality and fucking the electoral college. You can't really enact change because you can't vote for the right people. Australia has none of those things. But it still doesn't work. That is just the only place that has all of these things, but it still doesn't work.
Also, Burger, I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that you were in favor of like redistributing the means of production, something like that, but just peacefully, not with violence. Yeah, but like, what if being able to do that peacefully is impossible because the people that do own the means of production also own the government. And
are willing to use violence to protect the means of production. I mean, I don't really agree, but I see how the case can be made.
They're willing to use violence to suppress it.
It's
And if it's impossible to do it peacefully, shouldn't we be able to do it? Not peacefully.
The problem, if I say yes to this, is that this is a very specific situation. I can't say blanket yes to this. That is something that I would say I would have to see the individual situation for and say, okay, this is at this point justified. Because you are literally just in a totalitarian state that is oppressing you.
I would say once the state has explicitly...
No, America isn't a totalitarian state.
It's a fucking plutocracy, dude.
It is a plutocracy, absolutely, but it's not. It's nowhere near a totalitarian state.
Dude, only the rich get what they want. The overwhelming majority of the people.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that there's also mass surveillance in here, and propaganda everywhere disguised as mainstream media.
Yeah, no, like America's a banana republic. It's not a totalitarian state.
I mean, you kind of have to like go with I was listening to an interview by an old interview with Aldous Huxley.
Yeah.
And the way he described totalitarianism that will be in the future is that the totalitarians of the future will learn from the mistakes of the totalitarians from the past, because they know that you can do anything with a bayonet except sit on it, and like their form of totalitarianism is going to be very different from what like we saw in Soviet Russia, and that's kind of what we're seeing now. That's basically what we're seeing now.
I don't. This is not totalitarianism, like.
It's disguised.
Another point that you could make about that is the moment that the people try to enact any sort of change, the US pretty much would probably go full on totalitarian.
But
if they had
but people are right now at this moment enacting that exact change.
Burger.
And the US is complying.
I found how Australia decides its election.
How?
Dingoes.
Oh,
Go on.
please, yes.
Go on, Brady. Speak.
But yeah, just because a government isn't just straight up murdering everyone that dissents doesn't mean that it's not totalitarian. Or
Actually, that is
authoritarian.
exactly what that means. Definitionally,
No,
that is
because
exactly what that
because
means.
Modern day authoritarianism is going to be very different from what it was in the past.
No, it's just a different form. You can't use the same word for something that is different in the most key ways. Just because
it's becoming
similar in
kind of a
some
semantic
others.
discussion, and at this point, it's becoming kind of a semantic discussion. The point about that you were making about totalitarianism originally is if it's impossible to enact change through peaceful means.
Exactly.
Then
that is what I would like to get back to.
In America, I think that you could reasonably make the case that it's impossible, or at least very difficult, to enact change through nonviolent means.
I disagree with that.
No, being an American and seeing how this works up front, I learned a lot about U.S. Even the way the Constitution is set up, it makes it damn near impossible for something like that.
I think.
Even James
Just to be clear, I'm not advocating for violent revolution. I'm just saying the case can be made. I'm not making it.
James Madison, the guy behind the Constitution,
stuff changed. Like,
I mean,
it's not going to work in the U.S.
It might actually. I mean, the U.S. lost the fucking
it just
Vietnam.
inherently wouldn't. If we had a massive revolution and
revolutions never
overthrew
work.
the government and stuff, we're not going to be the
Except
U.S.
when
anymore.
it did.
We're going to be
the revolutions cannibalize themselves.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have the infrastructure.
This isn't to say that violent resistance doesn't have positive effects. I do think that violent resistance can have positive effects. You only need to look at Ukraine to see that happening. But an actual violent revolution is never a good idea.
I mean,
insurgency is a good idea.
Wouldn't you
not
describe
all
what happened? Wouldn't you describe what's happening in like Ukraine some way as like a revolution or a civil war?
Yes, it was
Which
armed.
They're not too far apart.
It was but they didn't topple the government. They didn't topple the system of the government. They just ousted the leadership by means of violent resistance, which is why I say, precisely because of this example, it is possible to violent resistance can be essential in enacting that change. However, a violent revolution to seize the means of production is never going to produce good long-term results.
Violent pressure to redistribute the means of production voluntarily could be helpful.
Okay, but at what point does it go from a violent resistance or something to a revolution?
I don't know.
I would probably argue that it's just when the government doesn't give a shit about it and will just start bombing places anyway. And that's when it's on.
That's a too individual situation. You can't make a blanket statement about that.
And something like that wouldn't happen because, you have to realize that, even if you would be ignore the fact that, the military is sworn to obey the Constitution and stuff like that, and most of them, actually take that a lot more serious than, oh, hey, I'm giving orders. You have to realize it's they're it's not just okay, we're going out and bombing these other people. It's we'd be attacking our friends and family and the countrymen. It's that's.
I mean, do you know how many people in the military are fully loyal to Donald Trump? Not even the Constitution, just to Donald Trump. They make an oath to the Constitution, but in reality, they know where their allegiance lies. And there's a lot of those in the military.
Difficult. Yeah, you'll always have loyalists.
Yeah, that's not going to be close to the majority of them.
Wait a second. Let's take a step back. Let's say, for example, that non-violent change won't work, a revolution won't work, and violent resistance wouldn't do a lot. Doesn't that kind of mean that the only means to enact change in America is through international pressure and possibly intervention?
That's not gonna happen.
That would just be
That's not gonna happen.
World War.
I know it's not gonna happen, but
you see,
what else? Any suggestions?
I'm going to interject here. That's where an authoritarian nation with nukes cannot be toppled.
This is a big problem that I've been thinking about a lot. You cannot topple. You can only destroy an authoritarian nation with nukes from the inside.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because the whole that last scenario that guy mentioned.
But the results won't be good.
I mean, they might not be good, but if it's our last resource, it's kind of what we have to do.
You're fucked both
I mean,
ways,
that is an argument that you could make, but it's not an argument that you can make right now. or any time in the near
I
future.
highly disagree.
You
If
shouldn't
you look at the
agree,
way that
Arthur.
America has become just owned by corporations, and
No,
the
but
more
look.
authoritarian it's become
Right now,
against the overwhelming majority of the people, yeah, it's easy to make the argument that
it is
that's what needs to be done.
right now. It is first of
Yes.
all, civil resistance is. There's never been an actual proper civil resistance in the United States in recent history. And I am talking
but-
general strikes. The nearest thing that we've had to this is the thing that's happening right now. And that is actually seeing change. You are seeing police departments defunded. That is something that is
you usually
happening.
don't see that change until the riots start happening.
Yeah, which is why I say
which-
violent resistance is effective, but violent resistance is not the same as a revolution.
No, but like what you're describing is literally just one issue. The true issue that affects America, that it involves this, is a lot deeper than that.
You
and it
can't-
does involve
I
the
don't
money
think-
of the rich and powerful.
It
You
doesn't
know-
have to do with the riots because, like, you didn't see this sort of thing happen back in '93 or '92, whenever it was.
No, but you also,
Because
but
the
you
ri-
did
there
see it
wasn't a
actually.
change in LA, and those were like fucking hella worse
No,
riots.
but
This
you
was
did
like
see
the police were
six.
just like, we're not going down there because we ain't fucking with that.
But you did see similar change, some change when it happened in Baltimore. Those the Freddie Gray case, like those officers, all four of them didn't even get charged.
And they
until,
broke a
like,
dude's spine by dragging him along the ground.
Yeah, dude, like that. Those cops didn't get charged until Baltimore started burning,
But
and even
you
they
have
didn't
had
get, and even they didn't get convicted.
you have had
very
widespread
minor
change through peaceful means or nearly peaceful means in the United States. You've had you had literally fucking when they gave blacks the same rights as white people in the 60s.
Here's the thing that I was about to bring that up too. Like, one, you can't say that the civil rights movement was peaceful because there was
Yeah, no,
plenty of
that's
violence.
why. But it wasn't a revolution.
But here's the thing also. That was just about race. When you start getting into the economics, which is what Martin Luther King was getting into later on, he got shot.
Yeah, but that you can't.
So, like, once
you
you start
can't
touching their
solve
money, that's when
all
they
of the
will go
problems at the
by any
same
means necessary.
time.
One step at a time.
You kind of have to solve one issue. You have to solve another one.
Can I just interject?
The
How are you
deeper
gonna?
issue.
No, Jarvis. Can I just interject? How are you going to defeat this state that is armed to the teeth?
I mean, I'm not a military strategist, so I'm not sure.
The way you
I
defeat,
can answer that.
But like the
You
fucking
can't.
the goddamn Viet,
You can,
Viet Cong
you
was
can.
the goddamn Viet Cong was able to drive out America.
The
despite
Viet Cong was
foreign
backed by
invasion.
You
the
could do
trade
that.
by the Soviet Union.
How many rainforests does the United States have?
No,
Vietnam
this is how you
didn't
destroy
drive
the
out.
entire system. This is how you destroy the
Viet Cong
entire
was
system.
Gone after Tet Offensive. Like the Viet Cong were like
Wait, let
basically
Burger.
killed by the
Stop
NVA.
paying your mortgage. Everybody stop paying your mortgage.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
not
same
gonna
time.
happen.
Stop. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you
No,
don't
no,
have.
because-
You don't need guns. You need to just. The way you do that is you stop doing something. that is how you
you're
topple
gonna
the
need-
financial system.
to get peaceful change, you're going to need way bigger of portion of the population for that than for violent change.
That's
Right.
true.
Also,
Yeah,
think about it.
that is
It's easier to
absolutely
get the
true.
majority of the population on side with
Actually,
not that sort of
But do you
non-violent resistance than it would to
do
be
you
able to
know
get them on
what
side with.
the approval ratings of any branch of the U.S. government is? It's very low. People,
Yeah, but a lot of people don't.
because there are a lot of fucking
people don't see that
criminals.
there's a huge connection between the corporations and the U.S. government, and that they're both on the same side, and just one essentially bought out by the other.
I'd give Americans more credit.
If
for
you
that.
want to truly make change, you have to get that connection away, and the only way to do that right now, from what I can see, would either be through a massive constitutional convention, which is highly unlikely to happen, or B, through violent revolution, because our entire government is bought out,
I'm
and
going
it does not allow for peaceful
I'm going to
change.
inject a no violent revolution that is the lesser side of the population has succeeded. Usually they get genocided.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Studies have
Have you ever
shown
heard
that
about
for
the revolt in
violent
Northern
revolution,
Ireland in
Right,
England?
the French Revolution was successful because like 90% of the people supported it because that is
Actually,
basically how
don't-
obtuse that system
I
was.
mean,
you don't need that. Studies have shown that, like, for a violent revolution to to be successful, you know how much of the population you need fighting in that
Yeah,
revolution?
you need a military coup.
You need only 3.5% of the population.
Are you
in America would be 11 million.
The rest
of
needs to
independence?
support-
Because the military situation in that was not even close
Okay.
to what the contemporary
Here's
military
the big
situation
thing
will
about
be.
political violence, and I don't see you guys bringing this up. Here's the big problem with that, though. That opens up a big slippery slope. You cannot back up every idea with words because none of them are good idea, but you can back up any stupid idea with violence.
Yeah.
And the moment you start doing that, even if it's for a good cause, it doesn't become a question of who's right and who's wrong. It's a question of who's willing to do the most violence.
That is why, yeah.
Once violence
That's
becomes
why I say
acceptable,
revolutions
for one
never
thing,
have
it
good
becomes
outcomes.
acceptable to use means of violence
Right,
for pretty
Jarvis,
much any
I'm going to
political
put
goal.
I'm going to put out the realistic, actual scenario if you actually toppled the U.S. government. Every state will declare independence that doesn't back you.
Yeah,
I
think if
I
the
know
US,
that's a probability.
I think in a revolution, if it came to a revolutionary like scenario in the United States that actually worked, the United States would just collapse completely.
No, I fully agree.
And you would see a number of independent nations, most of whom would probably be pretty politically extreme. You'd see a renewal of genocides, probably in the southern states. They would. Yeah, exactly.
But I want to respond to what I forgot I forgot the name.
Freest.
The guy's name. Saying like the guy that said
Freest.
Think what? Yeah. Okay. You mentioned something about crap. Well, I forgot my point. Oh yeah. Look, you mentioned you can't really decide if it's a peaceful revolution will only really be successful if you have like good ideas. Violent revolutions can be backed by shitty ideas. The problem is that the best ideas don't always win out at the end.
That's
and
the point we're making.
in our current system, it's very hard to get enough people to be behind the idea due to all the propaganda that we are surrounded by, whether
yeah, but
the
revolution won't solve that problem.
Now, you said that studies have shown that you only need 3% of the population for a violent
3.5
to succeed.
Yeah.
How much of the population do you think that would be okay for a violent revolution to happen in the U.S.? How many?
I mean,
what percentage of the population needs to be on board for that to be okay?
11 million needs to be in America.
How many? No, I mean, how many for you?
It has to be.
How many is it an acceptable an amount?
I mean, right now, I can't tell you that number, but with violent crackdown from the government, you're going to see that number rise.
Specifically from just a purely like philosophical idea. This isn't like whether or not it was succeed. What point is it?
Where is the line? Where is the line that it is moral?
What percentage is it?
What percentage of what?
What percentage?
What percentage of people have to be on board for it to be like morally okay?
That's
I don't think
I mean like in support, not like actually fighting.
I don't think there's any correlation between morality and just how many people back it up.
No, but look, you could make an argument that 3.5% of people in America are like hardcore racists, at least. And if they took up arms and did a revolution, would that be moral?
No, of course not.
Yeah, so it is a moral.
What makes yours moral?
It is correlated.
No, it's not. It's not correlated because, like, at the end of the day, you're using violence. That's the thing that you mentioned. I think you mentioned yourself that, like, any shitty idea can be backed by revolution. Like, a revolution doesn't decide what's moral or not.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the point.
Makes it okay to do this revolution.
I think that's actually irrelevant.
No, but this is why we say that revolutions. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If I may respond to Jarvis real quick. Here's the thing, dude. It's not a question of whether or not it's moral. It's also a question of optics. If you go in violent, most people in the U.S., they're not even that political. So here's what's going to happen. You go violent, a lot of people are going to get scared by that, and they are going to try and do everything to go back to the status quo, because at least that means there's no violence. So you know what that means? They are going to support the very thing you're fighting against, because you are scaring the hell out of them.
Just by default.
One,
also.
That's been the case to almost every revolution. Two, like
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go,
but
go right
I'm
ahead.
sorry, it roboted for me for like 5 seconds. Could you repeat yourself, Jarvis?
Me? Okay, so
Yes.
why did I forget what I just okay, I have a horrible memory, but
Me too.
yeah, what did you say again? With that previous thing? Sorry, I have horrible fucking memory. I'll say something 30 seconds later, forget it. I think I'm like heading down Joe Biden lane.
That happens to me as well.
But,
no, but I think
I'm
the
Joe
problem is
Biden
the
and I
morality
forgot
of the
this message.
revolution, right? Because this is the precise problem that revolutions have, is that they may be effective, but they never result in a good thing, right?
I highly disagree.
Name one revolution
Name one.
that's actually just resulted straight up in just a good
That's
thing.
ended in a regime that wasn't fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, a good example could be, like, I mean, Cuba has problems, but
Oh,
they
God.
made a lot
Ah!
of progress.
No.
I am watching
No.
And the
plane
American Revolution
crash
itself.
burn.
And the American Revolution itself is a good
That
example
was-
as well.
No, right. Can I interject
Wait,
on
you're
that
making
one?
the case against
Right,
America,
right.
and then when we say
The American Revolution wasn't a revolution in the sense of what we call a revolution.
Yeah.
It was an independence war.
That's a different because
The
in a
government in
they
charge
didn't
was still
top
the same.
they didn't march on London. They just stopped being colonies. And also they lost. America lost most of the battles in the revolution. It was just they were still
the
Americans.
British pulled out because the campaign was too expensive.
And then Brit was like, okay, fuck it. It's just
It's not even
we
not even
still
worth that much.
emancipated all your sailors.
It just looks cool on the map. We don't want it anymore.
And just to add on to this, when America actually went on an offensive, they lost that war.
1812.
Didn't you guys invade us? Didn't the British invade us?
No, you tried to take Canada, and we just burnt your White House.
Oh,
that was
okay.
Canada, wasn't
The
it?
Japanese invaded the US.
I mean, they tried, yeah. They
Yeah,
failed horribly.
and we nuked them twice.
But, I mean, it counts. It counts as it's a
Does it count as an invade? Does
go with
spray tagging the
No, it doesn't
facade?
count as a mainland invasion because then you'd have to count like Okinawa as an American mainland invasion.
I mean, what they did, they went
No,
to
but
your
Pearl
window
Harbor.
and wrote "fuck America" on it with like an edding pen. It's not like they didn't occupy your house.
You know what I find?
They did.
They
did
just
took
a
invade
shit
us.
in your
And
yard.
Pearl Harbor
The
was just an American
hero
base.
here was here on a wall somewhere and then got straight back into the boat.
Well,
The most
I mean,
biggest
the,
fuck up
the
of
Alaskan,
the attack on Pearl
one
Harbor
of the,
was the fact that they
Aleutian
completely
Islands.
missed the fucking oil reserve.
I mean, also you can make an argument that the French Revolution was, after all,
That ended
successful.
that
Because
ended in
without that,
Napoleon.
you probably wouldn't have gotten like the Third
And-
Republic of
No,
France.
can I also say, right, the French Revolution was led up by the Reign of Terror, the most
Yeah.
bloodiest thing in Europe. until
Fucking
the Nazis.
Robespierre, my man. There was
Yeah, I know.
religious
All of the worst
persecution.
ones of history.
Heads chopped
They
off, dude.
it got so bad that they reinstated the monarchy because they wanted to have the monarchy back, and then even later you ended up with Napoleon.
Yeah,
The
Even
French
before-
Revolution.
Right, even before that.
Yeah, but
right,
the French
the
Revolution was
English
the thing that
Civil
led
War,
to all of those changes.
No, but
Because
no,
without
it's
that,
no.
who
That is
knows-
just an
who
earlier
knows
point in
if
the
France
chain
would still
of
be a
events.
fucking monarch.
No, look. If I went ahead, like say I become a world famous author and write some book that influences people in a positive way, right?
Yeah.
Is my great grandfather the thing that led to that happening? Technically, yes, because he's in that chain of events. But is he really?
Yeah, but
Yes.
Genghis Khan's
Right,
more-
can I just point out the thing that actually led to more people liberalizing was the English Civil War, not the French Revolution.
But I mean,
The English
so-
Civil War was a disaster, my dude. Cromwell was a fucking despot and it was
actual
practically
revolution-
monarchy.
Yeah,
Failed.
Cromwell was a piece of shit.
But what it
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
what
Lord
it ended up
Protector
doing
is
was
literally the same as monarchy. It's a
No,
hereditary
no,
office
Lord-
supposedly
Lord-
backed
no.
by God with
Lord-
absolute authority.
Lord Protector is more of a dictatorship than a monarchy.
Nah, it's hereditary. It's supposedly backed by God. It's basically monarchy.
But all that ended up doing was the only result of the English Civil War, which is technically a revolution, is when the monarchy came back, he was no longer allowed to disband Parliament.
And also no longer allowed to walk into the House of Commons.
Yeah.
Queen isn't allowed in the House of Commons.
Oh yeah, we have this stupid tradition where one guy, she sort of like knocks on the door and they shut it in her face. Yeah, Black Rod knocks on the door and they're fucking.
Look, when it comes, okay, for like, I'm critical of Cuba, of course, but there's a lot of shit that needs to be accounted for that isn't just communism bad or whatever, or socialism bad.
No, it's not the socialism bit. I mean, although it hasn't worked there, it's the fact that it's a fucking military dictatorship, essentially.
Well, also keep in mind of the embargo. Like, if you're gonna criticize Cuba for its outcomes, you have to keep in mind of the embargo.
Yeah,
Which played a
sure.
huge role into that.
But also Castro.
I could give you an example of why Castro was a piece of shit, right? While most of his people were starving, he built a massive complex that sold nothing but ice cream because he liked ice cream. If you, I don't remember what it's specifically called. There is it's still there. There is a massive ice cream parlor.
I know what it is. It's like a stadium size.
Yeah.
I think it starts with a C or something like that. Anyway, but that's the problem of having an authoritarian government. You can have revolutions that end
But every revolution ends up with an authoritarian government. That is why a revolution so works, because every single one of them end up with an authoritarian government. Because the people who are the most ruthless and the most willing to commit violence are the ones that end up winning when the revolution actually takes place and succeeds. Because the people who go, okay, enough is enough, right, we're gonna do this now, they're just gonna kill him and go on.
I mean, when it comes to like morality, if you're gonna bring up like they're ruthless, and the opposite of being morality, like the most moral people are able to, help.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that. It's just the practical outcomes are always an authoritarian state because the most ruthless people will go the farthest. And once you have suspended all of the rules, those are the people who will do the most horrible things will be the people who win.
Basically, because you can't have a true battle of ideas because the ideas are being suppressed.
That exactly. Revolution.
So a violent revolution is an authoritarian means of seizing control, because a military operation isn't a democracy. It's controlled at its head by one person, obviously.
I mean, that's a military. I would make a distinction between military coups and revolutions. Although many revolutions, of course, are supported by the military.
The successful ones that actually take power and become authoritarian states are usually backed by the military.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why we have a different category for them. Because they end up quite different.
Anyway,
the best one for video games, though, when the military splits itself into two factions, so you get a nice even fight that's bloody as fuck and no one comes out unscathed. Like the English Civil War.
The English Civil War wasn't a clean split. It was by no means 50-50.
Okay, so let's just say
were heavily outnumbered.
Okay, so let's just say it's impossible to have a peaceful revolution, and our only option is violent revolution, but that will lead to a authoritarian dictatorship. Is democracy not an option? Would you rather live in an authoritarian right-wing government, or would you rather live in a more socialist government?
No, that's not the option that you have, because the fucking Nazis might win.
That's literally what you're saying, though.
No!
That's literally what you're saying.
Jarvis, you want to know what your actual option is? Have states declare independence from the authoritarian state, and then it loses all its legitimacy, and you still have the rules and ethics of those
You
states.
can always have
is that to happen?
a peaceful revolution. You just stop. That is how you do a peaceful revolution. You stop. You don't go to work. You don't pay your mortgage. And if you all do that, the system collapses on its own. You do not need to fire a shot.
Jarvis,
that would work in an ideal world. We don't live in an ideal world.
Jarvis, it has worked before. You want to know who did it?
I'm sorry, are you unfamiliar with the October Revolution?
No, Gandhi did a peaceful revolution of breaking his nation away, and it worked because he obeyed the rules of the system when he did it.
Jarvis, plus, do you think it would be easier to get people on board with the violent revolution, or easier to get people on board with with the kind of non-violent resistance that Berger's advocating for?
Well, considering the fact that you need less people to be on board for a violent revolution than a peaceful revolution, yeah, it'd be easier.
It's
not going to be easy. No one ever said this was going to be easy.
Also, your 3% citation, I'm pretty sure. Did you get that from the idea of the American Revolution? Because that's.
I mean, it's not.
applicable.
I would say that is reasonable. The 3.5% figure.
Yeah.
Because for a revolution
all around the world in the past century.
I mean, this is how many of you have seen the Zizek compilation that I uploaded? It's literally a point it's literally a point that Trotsky made that what you need is to control the strategic infrastructure that operates the government, and if you can take control of that, which isn't necessarily even like military bases, but like the water supply. Electrical power supply, at the internet at this point in time, which Trotsky didn't have to account for back in the day. You can do it with a fairly small number of people. It's a lot less romantic, obviously, but you can also take control of all of these things with a strike. With a general strike.
It's not going to be less romantic. You can still plant a couple of red banners, make it a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In regards to the Zizek videos, I was expecting more hot dogs.
Yeah, it was difficult to put those in. I mean, he rarely talks about hot dogs.
The thing that you've never thought about before, but
yeah, my man with his fucking double barrel hot dog fucking inhalation spree.
Oh, are we talking about how Berger posted a picture threatening to murder the cameraman with a hot dog? Yes. pointing at that. I was genuinely fearing for my life when I saw that image. Like,
oh no, I was talking about Berger's chosen way to die would be Zizek force feeding him hot dogs.
Yeah.
To death.
I just want to leave one thing.
Yeah.
Answered like right off the bat.
Okay, I just want to say one last thing because I'm pretty sure the stream's about to end.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, like. Keep in mind that all the information most of the information we get about Cuba is either from Western governments that are highly against it already, so it's massively biased, or B, from people that escaped there, and a huge chunk of those people left there because of the revolution directly after, because they themselves were the ones that were being fighting against.
You do know that Cuba isn't like super closed off, and there's journalists there, right? Like you can get.
But like the U.S. is like the U.S. is the biggest.
Like I could go to Cuba. I could go to Cuba. I could get a passport and go to Cuba.
I know, but like the U.S. is the biggest Western power, and they're the ones giving up most of the information about that.
No, the media outlets are giving that information out. When was the last time the government
most of the people in this room probably
gave you a PSA about Cuba?
Dude, just look at how the CIA has.
The CIA has no power over the EU.
You can make the argument that the media in the United States serves empire, right? You can make that argument. But the rest of the world knows. Like, that's just you. And even in America, there's plenty of media outlets that do actually do factual reporting on Cuba. It's not like it's...
Very rarely.
Cuba isn't North Korea.
That's like saying North Korea isn't bad because American media has a bias in American media.
I'm not saying that it's not bad. I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that it's not bad because Cuba has plenty of fucking problems.
Yeah.
Wait, guys. While we're breaking the case for
but let him finish though.
Wait, sorry.
Keep in mind that most of what we learn from Cuba, especially as Americans, is from media, and a lot of that comes straight from the government of the United States. Or you get it from Cubans that fled there, a lot of whom, especially from the first wave, were the wealthier ones and the ones that the revolution fought against.
But we've just established that isn't true.
No, because those people, a lot of those people, like, they were fine with Batista being dictator.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you have a left-wing leader, they're like, oh, no, I suddenly care about my freedom.
No, but we have an accurate picture of what Cuba looks like. Like, we've just established that isn't actually the case.
Batista the wrestler?
Like...
No, man, dude, someone should like deep fake, take footage from like Batista the dictator in Cuba and like deep fake Batista the wrestler.
No, I mean, yeah, but like of course there's gonna be government propaganda, but it's not like the only things that we know about Cuba is propaganda. It's like it takes you like 5 minutes to get accurate information on Cuba. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, but sadly a lot of people don't do. That's the problem.
I mean,
Most
yeah, if you get your geopolitics knowledge from a guy that you meet at the bar sometimes, yeah.
No, it's not just that. Like, but you know how many I forgot what the fuck the word is.
I'm gonna.
How many Cubans that were exiled Cubans?
Yeah, I know, but like
are people that would have massive bias because they were the ones that were being fought against in the revolution.
Yeah, the CIA paid a lot of them to go back in there and wreak havoc. All of this is true, but again, like, don't get your geopolitics knowledge from some guy at the bar that you meet.
But the problem is that a lot of Americans do that.
Well, yeah, but it's
people end up voting for people that do the same thing.
Are you familiar with something referred to as Operation Northwoods? Because this is just reminding me of that.
This is one of those many operations where the CIA tried to kill Castro in a hilarious manner.
Oh, no.
I think that Operation Northwoods was the one that... Sorry, explain Northwoods.
Okay, so Operation Northwoods was basically this operation the CIA wanted to do that got shot down by Kennedy, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah.
To basically fake a bunch of terrorist attacks from Cuba on the United States in order to make us go to war with Cuba.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, what the fuck? But it's something that has worked repeatedly.
So don't you think a government with so much power that's even considering to do that wouldn't just straight up lie a lot of the time?
Yeah, but again, it's not like the US. It's not like you can't get newspapers that say Cuba good or Cuba nuanced in the United States. It's not like that isn't possible.
I remember the
great Jarvis,
or even illegal.
Can I ask you a question, Jarvis? What's your opinion of the 9/11 attacks? Where do you stand with that?
I mean, oh my god. Look, it was honestly horrible, and whoever the fuck did that should have been killed, and thankfully a lot of them were, especially Bin Laden.
But do you believe that the state was behind that? Or was it a genuine terrorist attack?
That was a genuine terrorist attack, yeah.
Alright.
I do think, and this is my conspiracy theory moment, I do think it is reasonable to think that somebody knew and was like, hang on. If
this could be handy.
if this happens, and if I just don't tell anyone about this, and this happens, we could go into the Middle East.
And get some of that
They probably didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but like they knew something was going down. I think that is a reasonable thing to. I mean, I'm not saying that happened.
That's as far as I would believe.
Yeah.
I don't think
George Bush was warned about it.
Bomb their own.
Yeah, but I mean, fucking people were warned about the coronavirus.
Directly.
Right. When it comes to the coronavirus, I believe it's just desserts. There has been multiple warnings from multiple experts that we were very susceptible to a disease outbreak. But did anyone listen? No, because it would have cost too much money. Like the moment I heard a virus was breaking out in China, I said we need to lock down. We need to basically cut time.
But that's just you being happening to be right. I genuinely.
Yeah, in hindsight, it seems right.
No, I'm like
hindsight bias is a real thing.
No, it's not fucking hindsight at all. I've been watching this from like China Uncensored. Like I knew this was gonna spread like wildfire.
I watched China Uncensored also, and there I didn't come to those same conclusions. I mean, maybe you're just smarter than I am. But
I mean, I'm biased against China because I want to look for any excuse to
I don't like China either.
We should never have opened up trade with them. Thank you, Clinton.
Yeah, agreed. I hate China.
Anyway, I
check
think
out.
this is
Everybody
a
wants
good
to buy
note to
QPD.
end the stream on. We've been going on for a bit longer than I expected, and I do
Yeah,
I do have a doctor's appointment
chat
tomorrow
is-
You
morning.
sound like my girlfriend.
yeah, I bet the chat is not probably pretty angry. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
plan to
looking
see
right
the
now. Yeah,
chat.
there's some. There's not that many people watching this. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the stream. Basically, see you around, cunts. And this should